Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show podcast, coming from right here in our quaint little studio. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined in studio today, of course, by our graphics guy, Ray Ora.
If you feel it, chase it.
Our floor director, Jonathan Voico.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Our host over here, Paris Rose.
Hello.
And most importantly, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here and making this little show part of your day. And here's how the show's going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a bunch of predetermined topics. Then in the second part of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you've got a comment or question for the show, go ahead and use our tip link at www.streamelements.com/JohnCampea/tip. And by the way, here's the great thing about this tip link. If you're watching the show when we're not live later on, like 90% of the people do, you can also participate. If you got a thought, theory, question, or opinion you'd like to share, go ahead and send it into the tip link and we'll just get around to it as long as it's appropriate to be used on our show on the next episode. Now, this is a live show. And for those of you who are watching live, some of you may notice it's a little bit different in the live chat. Because today, tomorrow, and Friday, we are only allowing our channel members to participate in the live chat. The reason being is we're going to try to protect our viewers as much as we can from Deadpool spoilers. So and we trust our channel members. So for the next couple of days, until at least until the weekend, we're going to be having a channel members only in the live chat for that. So if you're wondering about that, it'll go back to normal next week, but we just want to give you a heads up on that. And speaking of Deadpool, whoop, whoop, last time, guys, we are now 1 day away, and I've got 3 screenings of it tomorrow now. Ann and I have a screening at 3 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, and then a buddy of ours was like, oh, I want to see it with you. We're like, they just added a bunch of more screenings. Let's go to a 9:15. So we're going to go to a 3, a 6, and a 9:15.
Wow.
Of Deadpool and Wolverine tomorrow. I cannot wait. And also, by the way, you know, I don't like to talk politics because it's a movie show, right? We're a movie show. But if I was a voting citizen of the United States of America, which thankfully I am not, I am a Canadian citizen. So I can't vote. But if any of the political parties were to adopt, one of our viewers sent me this platform, take my picture down there, Jonathan, were they to say, I am going to enact a new law called the ArcLight Rule, 3 trailers and that's it, no more of this 25 minutes of trailers bullshit. Any political party want to, I don't care, libertarian, whatever, you want to embrace this as a major platform of your election bid, you got my support. You got my support, whatever you may be. All right, guys. With all that down, we got stuff we got to talk about here today. So let's get things started, shall we? Paris, what are we starting off with today?
It's been nearly 5 years since a Star Wars movie has been in theaters, with multiple movies announced, but nothing materializing since. But now a report has come out saying that the announced Mandalorian movie has actually begun shooting scenes, with full production beginning in 3 weeks. So, Jonna, are we actually about to get a Star Wars movie?
I am not going to believe it.
Yeah.
Not even when they put out a trailer. I am not going to believe that we are actually getting, after 5 years, a Star Wars movie in theaters until I have the popcorn in my hand, a soda in the other, and I'm sitting down getting ready to watch the damn thing. Until that happens, I won't believe it. But theoretically speaking, yeah, I mean, this comes just from the folks over at the Bestman Bullpen who write this. Reliable Star Wars insider Making Star Wars has offered an update on the situation of the upcoming flick via the social network Threads. Making Star Wars, who recently shared images of sets being built for The Mandalorian and Grogu, that's the name of the upcoming movie, revealed principal photography has yet to begin on the flick, though Lucasfilm did film some scenes with a limited cast, likely due to time sensitivity around certain cast members. Making Star Wars added that principal photography, what's considered to be the more official start of filming, will occur in El Segundo in and around 3 weeks' time. So what they are saying is they've actually even started shooting this movie. They've already shot some scenes and getting ready to go into their full production in just a couple of weeks. The reason this is actually such a big deal is not just because it's been almost 5 years since we've had a Star Wars film in theaters. Had a lot of crappy shows, but 5 years since we've actually had a Star Wars film in theaters, is the fact that during those 5 years, we have had so many false starts. We got a Taika Waititi Star Wars movie coming. Oh, no, that's not happening. Rian Johnson's doing a nutrition. Oh, no, I told you from the beginning that was never going to happen. Sure enough, it hasn't. Kevin Feige's going to be doing a Star Wars. Oh, no. Hey, guys, Patty Jenkins on the runway with a life-size X-Wing fighter doing a Rogue Squadron movie. Oh, no, that's not happening either. So we have gone through 5 years of Star Wars blue balls abstinence waiting for a new movie. And we've been fed all types of false promises. So you would be forgiven, and you'll have to forgive me if there's still a little bit of pessimism. But again, this is the furthest along they've ever been. They've actually started shooting this thing. Now, I still have a couple of conflicting feelings about them doing a Mandalorian movie. Number one, I'm going to have a little bit of a fear that the whole purpose of the movie is just to try to get people to sign up to Disney Plus. Oh, guys, because like if they do this, I'm burning Lucasfilm to the ground. If I go in to see a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, by the way, it's Baby Yoda. That's his real name. It's on his driver's license. It's not Grogu. So if I go to this Mandalorian and Baby Yoda movie and there's some kind of a cliffhanger ending and it says Mandalorian and Grogu will return in season 4 of Mandalorian, I'm going to go, fuck you. Like if they do that, I think myself and a lot of Star Wars fans are going to be incredibly pissed. I'm also a little bit nervous about how well this movie can do, because who is going to go see this movie that hasn't watched The Mandalorian on Disney Plus? And despite how popular the show is, I love The Mandalorian, not so much season 3, but I love The Mandalorian overall. But when you actually look at the streaming numbers, it's a very finite group of people that actually have Disney Plus and watched Mandalorian, right? So I'm a little bit worried about how well it can do financially. I'm a little bit worried that they're just going to use this as a way to try to prop up Disney Plus numbers. Not that they are, because there is, I've been saying this for a while. There's one good thing about doing a Mandalorian movie, which is this. Everybody acknowledges the Star Wars fandom is very fractured, right? Everybody acknowledges that. But the one thing in the last 5 years that it seems that all Star Wars fans seem to come together on is that we all seem to really love at least seasons 1 and 2 of Mandalorian, right? I mean, in a very divided, fractured fan base, that seems to be the one thing that all Star Wars fandom seem to come around and sing Kumbaya and say, we all love this show. So there is some wisdom also in coming out with your first new movie as a Mandalorian movie. So we'll see how it all shakes out. Is this movie actually going to come in theaters? I won't believe it till the popcorn's in my hand. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think they're actually going to get this movie made? I mean, according to reports now, they've actually even started shooting some scenes. Is it the right move to come out with a Mandalorian movie? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to our next topic here, shall we, Paris? What do we got up next?
Well, Top Gun Maverick was the box office darling of 2022, taking in almost $1.5 billion. It was supposed to be Maverick's swan song, but that kind of success got whispers going about a third film. Reports about the chances of that have swirled around since then, but now the most official word we've gotten on it has come from star Glen Powell, who just confirmed he has a start date for Top Gun 3. So, John, will Top Gun 3 actually happen, and is it a good idea?
Listen, I will tell you, I was one of the people fully believing that the initial reports before Top Gun Maverick came out that this was, like you said, Maverick's swan song. This was the final outing for Tom Cruise as Maverick. And that was the idea. I mean, literally, the movie ends with Tom Gunn and Jennifer Connelly flying off into the sunset. with Lady Gaga singing, "Gonna fly in my plane and gonna fly to the sky," whatever it's called, right? Literally flying off into the sunset. That was it. It was over. But much like Joker, which was supposed to be a one and done movie, oh, it made $1 billion. Oh, Top Gun Maverick made almost 1.5. I think it was like 1.48 or something like that. Nearly a 1.5, nearly $1.5 billion.
Insane.
And then all of a sudden the gears start going, well, maybe we should do another one. So, and like Paris pointed out, we have been hearing rumors about it, and some reports and even some studio heads saying, yeah, we're trying to put some things together for Top Gun 3. But this is the most official thing we've got, because in an interview with Glen Powell, who was talking about his current film Twisters, and they asked him specifically about the chances of coming back for Top Gun 3. This comes to us from Variety. Glen Powell says, I mean, I have a date, Powell said, more or less confirming that a start date has been set for him to start working on Top Gun 3. Variety then speculates, but saying whether that means a start date for getting back into the gym or returning to pilot school or an actual filming start date remains to be seen. Powell responded, absolutely not, when asked if there were any more Top Gun details that he could share. So here we have one of the co-stars of Top Gun 3, which I think it's fair to say, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn by saying before Top Gun 3 came out, I don't think most people knew who Glen Powell was. It's not that he had never been around.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think Glen Powell was certainly not a household name.
Yeah. Breakout role for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So here he is, the guy, and clearly since Top Gun 3, he's gone on to become maybe at the moment the hottest star in Hollywood at the moment. So clearly he's going to have a significant role to play in whatever the next one is. And he's saying, we have a start date. Look, from a romantic point of view, I like the idea that Top Gun Maverick was it. That was it. I mean, it already introduced all these themes that the world has moved on from Maverick and his kind. You know, you had General, what do they call him? The Drone Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
You had the Drone Ranger General already telling Maverick, like, you're a fossil now. Like, there's no need for you. Time is moving on. And, you know, Maverick acknowledges in the movie, yeah, but not quite yet. So, like, and then literally flying off in the sunset. There's a part of me that would just like them to say, that's it. But the pragmatic part of me says this movie made almost $1.5 billion. And people went crazy for it. And Glen Powell's star has only gotten bigger. And Tom Cruise still has a little bit of time left to pull off these types of roles. Like, pretty soon, Tom Cruise is going to have to be the Drone Ranger General. He's going to have to, listen, time catches up to all of us, right? Time is undefeated. At some point, Tom Cruise is going to have to shift from his roles to being the guy behind the chair. But he's still got a window of time here that he can be the guy out in the field. And so I get it. I get it. And yeah, listen, with this much money on the table, and with Paramount being in the shape that they're in, and I love Paramount, this has to be a no-brainer. This has to be a no-brainer. So yeah, I believe this is going to happen. And I think with Glen Powell saying we've got a date, I think it's probably sooner than most of us think. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Glen Powell says they've got a date. Probably meaning starting of production for Top Gun 3. Are you surprised they're actually going through with the Top Gun 3? Or are you not surprised at all? Maybe you're more surprised they're not announcing Top Gun 3 and 4 shooting back to back. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to our next topic here, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
Robert Pattinson's The Batman had tremendous success, hitting nearly $800 million at the box office and pulling in an 85% and 87% critic and audience rating. With the highly anticipated Penguin spin-off series coming to Max in September, one of the producers just suggested that they're looking to expand this Batman universe on HBO and Max even further. So, John, what do you make of his comments?
I'm torn. And I'll tell you why I'm torn. On the one hand, I loved Matt Reeves as the Batman. I loved it. Did I think it was a little bit too long? Was it stretched a little out in the third act? Could it have been about 15, 20 minutes shorter? Yes. But I mean, overall, I thought it had that grittiness, that intensity, that year 2 Batman kind of feel to it. I thought it was fantastic. As good as The Dark Knight? No, but a worthy follow-up, a worthy successor. Let me put it that way, a worthy successor. I thought it was a really, really good movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. And listen, one of the things I love most about it was Colin Farrell's Penguin, and I cannot wait, first week of September, for us to get the new Colin Farrell Penguin. So I love all that kind of stuff, but I get a little bit torn. And let's go look at what this producer actually said. This comes to us from GameSpot, where the Penguin, the upcoming TV show spinoff set in the universe of the Batman, might not be the last time we see the Robert Pattinson project sees a spinoff. Producer Dylan Clark told Entertainment Weekly that he is considering another television exploration of the Batman universe. He said this: "We're looking at this entire world as it relates to who Batman is, the antagonists around them, all the crime that has to be navigated in the city, and trying to figure out where are the areas that are best to explore," Clark said. Okay. So we just talked recently about how that Batman Arkham project was kind of off, and so here's my conundrum as a fan. I love this Gotham world that Matt Reeves has created. I love Pattinson's Batman. I love the world in which he inhabits with characters like Colin Farrell's Penguin, which is amazing. So there's a one half of me that would love to see a further exploration of this. Hell, maybe even a Zoe Kravitz spinoff of her Catwoman. Why not? And there's a plethora of other Rogues Gallery members in Batman's lineup that could do well as well. On the other hand, I don't know how wise it is to have two concurrent running cinematic universes at the same time for DC. It's one thing for DC to have the James Gunn cinematic universe that we're going to get, starting with Superman, and having some one-off Elseworld projects like Joker, like Matt Reeves' Batman, maybe even something else. I actually really like the idea of having Elseworld one-offs. I like it a lot. But there's a difference between doing Joker, Joker 2, or the Batman and the Batman 2. There's a difference between that and having another complete cinematic universe with tons of characters getting their own spin-offs and whatever. And I do worry a little bit. I'm not saying it would happen. I'm just saying I worry about it a bit. I worry a little bit that it could ultimately, depending on how broad this secondary cinematic universe gets, because what are we going to get? The Batman, Batman 2, Penguin show, Catwoman show, second Joker, like Robert Pattinson's Joker spin-off movie with, what's the name of the guy again who played Joker in the first Batman? He's from Eternals.
Yeah, I can never remember his name.
And he just got nominated for some Academy Awards.
I mean, I know his name, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, and I'm freezing on his name. Anyway, guys in the live chat, our channel members in the live chat, you guys know what his name. Throw his name in there in the live chat so we have it there. Anyway, so you then have that going on with us. So now you got two Elseworld Jokies. Barry Keoghan. That's it. Thank you, guys. So you're going to eventually have a Joker in the main DC universe, but then you're going to have an Elseworlds Joker in Joaquin, and then another Elseworlds Joker. And I mean, again, individual Elseworld spinoffs is one thing, competing cinematic universes in another. So I really don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it would really depend on how I feel after I see Penguin.
Yeah, I will say the development phase for these different worlds is very stretched out.
Yes.
And it seems like even if we were to get a Joker 3, which I don't think we will, but let's say we do, that's going to be probably 5 years from now. But then 2 years from now, we're going to get a Pattinson film. But then maybe not another one for another 3 years. So I think having them stretched out enough gets enough lead in to say, this is this world, but this is Gunn's, his version of MCU with the DCU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think time will be on their side. If they cram them in, then it's too much. Then you're diluting.
Yeah.
But again, I just worry that we could eventually see ourselves in a position where we have 3 active ongoing Jokers.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a little bit worrisome. Anyway, guys, but then again, maybe after we see Penguin, we're going to go, don't care. Give us as many as you want. This is too good.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to our last main topic here today, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
Yeah, so there has been a lot of speculation around fandom since Avengers Endgame if Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans would ever return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, in a new interview promoting Deadpool and Wolverine, Kevin Feige, for the first time, acknowledged that is a possibility. John, do you think we'll get Downey Jr. and Evans back in the MCU?
I have been saying since 2019 that absolutely we are going to get Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back. And I've always said since then, I'm not saying it's going to happen this year. I'm not saying it's going to happen next year. I don't know if it's going to happen in the next 3 years. I just know that at some point, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans will be back. Now, I've had a lot of people, especially when this came out back in December, when Kevin Feige shot down the idea, oh, Robert Downey Jr. isn't coming back. No way, says Kevin Feige. We're not gonna risk ruining his ending. He's not coming back. And I had so many people writing and saying, see, haha, John. Haha, you were wrong. And I said, I don't care what Kevin Feige's saying. I don't care if he's saying, no, we're not gonna have Robert Downey Jr. back. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care if he's saying that. He will be back. And as we've pointed out, back when like years ago when Robert Downey Jr. was doing like, who's the king of shock radio again? Howard Stern.
Oh, yeah.
When he was doing like Howard Stern, basically making it sound like, no, Tony Stark is behind me. Well, what's happened in the last couple of months? Robert Downey Jr.'s tone has totally changed. Now Robert Downey Jr., like in his interview with Vanity Fair, is saying, I love Tony Stark. I would jump at the chance to play Tony Stark again. Tony Stark is a part of me. There's no other character I've ever played that there's more of me in it than Tony Stark. So that's totally changed. Chris Evans's tone has changed lately, hasn't it? It used to be, well, never say never, but lately it's been, under the right circumstances. Yeah. Okay. So now Kevin Feige has gone in December saying, no, we're not going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. It's too precious of an ending. Well, apparently not. Because while being interviewed for Deadpool and Wolverine, Kevin Feige was directly asked by a reporter, hey, now that you've kind of proved that you could bring Hugh Jackman back after his ending in Logan, does that mean you can now bring back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans? And this is what Kevin Feige says. That's the key, right? How do you do it in a way that maintains what has come before and in a great way? And we've been spending, the last 2+ years figuring that out for Wolverine, Feige said when asked about Downey and Evans coming back. So what's to come? We'll see. We're just proud that we, I think, have figured it out for Wolverine. This is the key part. I think Hugh's appearance and starring role in Deadpool and Wolverine is a great sign that it can be done if great care is taken. This is a sign, says Kevin Feige, who is now saying, he's gone from in December saying, no, we're never going to touch that, to going, it can be done.
That's Kevin Feige's version of if it's mentionable, it can be manageable.
100%. It's 100%.
Like
That's a perfect comparison. That's exactly what he's saying. So this is the first time ever that Kevin Feige has actually said it out loud that, yeah, we could do it. Yep, we could do it. And I'm just telling you, I am staying on the same soapbox I've been on for the last 5 years. I've been saying for 5 years, I still believe it. And, it's never going to be true until it is. But Robert Downey Jr. will be back. And Chris Evans will be back. And for all I know, I'm going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine tomorrow 3 times. Maybe I'm about to see them appear in that 3 times. I doubt it. But all I'm saying is that with Kevin Feige, we've seen Chris Evans's tone change. We've definitely seen Robert Downey Jr.'s tone change. And now we're seeing Kevin Feige's tone change. Is there anybody out there left? I'm just curious, even channel members in the live chat. Show of hands. Is there anybody left that now firmly doesn't believe that either Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. won't be back at some point? whether it's in Secret Wars or whether it's in something that comes after that. I'm not even saying they come back full time, but I just don't know if there's going to be anybody left now that all three of them have started changing their tone on it. I'm just curious if there's anybody left out there that firmly believes they're not going to be back.
One.
Okay.
King Daddy Goat stands alone.
King Daddy Goat is staying there. No, King Daddy Goat says they're coming back.
Oh, he's raising hands that they will come back.
Oh, okay. No, I got. It says he's saying he followed that up by saying they are coming back. Of course they're coming back. Of course they're coming back.
Yeah.
And what a great. Now I acknowledge the one complication here. There's no complications for Robert Downey Jr. None. The one complication that does exist that they're going to have to be very careful about and how they manage it is Chris Evans coming back, because they are right now in the midst of trying to get a new Captain America established with Sam Wilson, right? Anthony Mackie. So what you don't want to do, you want to make sure that when you do bring Chris Evans back, you do it in such a way that does not undermine the work they're doing to establish Sam as his character. Right. So that's the one little catch. They're going to have to be very careful about it. I mean, yeah, in the comics, Michael Gonzalez saying Steve Rogers can come back as Nomad. Absolutely, he can. Nomad, Steve Rogers got assassinated later. Anyway, it's a long story. So that can happen. But yeah, I 100% still believe that these guys are going to be back. And I think Kevin Feige just put the cherry on top of the cake. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this statement from Kevin Feige? He has now changed tunes from no, never going to do that. It would undo all the good stuff we've done to, I guess it can be done. Do you believe that they're done and they're never coming back? Or are you now on the same train I'm on and that believes that, yeah, at some point they're going to be back? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we're now going to move on to the most important part of our show, which is taking your live comments and questions. If you have a comment, question, thought, theory, opinion you'd like us to address, as long as it's appropriate, go ahead and use the tip link to send that in. But before we do, we're going to take a quick second and thank one of the sponsors of today's episode of the John Campea Show podcast, our friends at Miracle Made. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. And thank you to our friends at Miracle Made for sponsoring today's episode. All right, guys, with that down, let's get on to your questions here, shall we? Paris, what we got up first?
Start with Carlos.
All right, Carlos says, can't wait for Deadpool and Wolverine. Seeing it on Friday at Sold Out 11 a.m. Dolby in Burbank.
Nice.
Seeing the reviews, I am even hyped up even more. I might get that collectible cup at AMC too. I'm ready to be reignited.
I just hope there are still some of those collectibles available on Friday. I fear they may get all sold out on the Thursday, but I hope you get them. By the way, I thought I'd throw this out there because we were talking on yesterday, and somebody had asked me when the Rotten Tomatoes reviews for Deadpool and Wolverine come out, because we read the initial reactions and they were sky high. But somebody asked me, like, when the initial Rotten Tomatoes reviews comes out, where do you think it's going to come in? Like 95? And I said, no, I believe it's going to come in somewhere between 80 and 86. Actually, I think I might have said 79 and 86. And they said, well, why? I said, because movie critics are just like anybody else. We're all movie critics are completely diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They all have different tastes and different opinions from each other, different things that work for them and different that don't. And if you look at something for Wolverine, listen, guys, a Wolverine movie is not for everybody. All the F-bombs and sex jokes and gore and decapitations and all that kind of stuff, while all that sounds like movie Viagra, to me, for a lot of people, that stuff turns people off. And because that's true of most average movie-going audiences, the same is going to be true for film critics. There are going to be some, just like everybody else, that kind of stuff is going to not sit well with them. It's not going to work for them. It's not going to click for them. And did you just have the RT? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's
here we go.
And what did it say? It's at 81, which is like right in that range where I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because again, as everything about Deadpool that's making me excited for it is going to be the exact same thing that's going to turn some people off. We've had people in our own live chat before saying the excessive, unnecessary F-bombs, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I get it. That's not for everybody. Like you're going to go see it, Paris. Yeah. I bet you're not bringing your mom.
Definitely not.
No,
she would not like this. I think she would also be one of those people who just think it's too unnecessary. Why all the cursing? I think that's how she would feel about it.
Yeah,
oh, gosh,
so
I couldn't imagine.
And that's understandable. It's not going to be for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people forget sometimes, a lot of people think like film critics are like some giant hive mind. Yeah. No, that's why so many movies are like 60-40 or 50-50 or 70-30. It's because like people forget that film critics are just like everybody else. They're all massively different from each other. So some people, some of the critics are going to be thrilled by Deadpool just like some of us. And some critics are going to be turned off by it, just like some average film fans are going to be turned off by it. So don't forget, the perfection that is Deadpool 1, I think it had an 84 or an 85, really? Right? Because it's not for everybody. So I'm not surprised by it. It's right around where I thought it would be. All right, what's next?
Fally says, hey, John and crew, what was your most improbable double feature at the movies? Mine is 2001, A Space Odyssey, followed by Fury Road. Improbable and glorious.
But the proper order. You did it in the proper order.
I will never forget. Me, Ray, I can't remember if you were with us or not. It was me, John Schnepp, Dennis, and I can't remember if you were not. It started off with the Channing Tatum film, Jupiter Ascending, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, followed by some sorcerer movie that Jeff Bridges was in.
Oh,
The Seventh Son or the Sixth Son or something like that.
Yeah, that was rough.
Also, one of the worst movies ever made.
That was rough. And I was kind of hyped for that when it first got the trailer out.
And I remember me, Schnepp, and Dennis were all like, well, let's just go see both of them. They're like literally one is starting 5 minutes after the other one ends. We're like, okay, let's go see both. And like Schnepp laughed about it for as long as I knew him after that, because he said, I just got more fun out of watching Campea because I'm sitting going like, oh my God, this is so bad.
I would have called in sick the next day.
Oh, it was so bad. But that to me was the most unlikely double feature I ever did. All right, what's next?
Emil says, hey everyone, I know John is not a fan of NYC, but have you ever been to the IMAX theater at AMC Lincoln Square? It's my favorite theater in the world.
I got to tell you what, I really like the AMC theater in Lincoln Square.
Yeah, I've been to the AMC, but not the IMAX there.
It's like 6 or 7 floors.
Yeah.
You got like, and all the theaters are on different floors. I remember the first time I was there, at AMC, we were looking at hiring a New York correspondent because I did not like flying. I certainly didn't like flying to New York City from LA. And every once in a while, there would be press junkets held in New York instead of LA. So I decided, you know what, let's hire a New York person. Let's hire a New York correspondent. And so we set up the interviews at the AMC Lincoln Square. So I went, that was my first time there, and I was floored by that facility.
I think it's so pretty.
It's so nice, pretty, yeah. And it's so well laid out inside. I really, really enjoyed it.
I saw X-Men First Class there. That was the last time I was there. Nice. So it's been a minute, but yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Juicy Ray says, awesome Deadpool and Wolverine social reactions. I want Marvel to do a 30-second TV spot highlighting the reactions. At the end, have Dune 2, Anya, Taylor, Joy whisper, you are not prepared for what is to come.
Oh, and we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm going to go see it 3 times tomorrow. Heaven help me if I don't like the movie. Oh, my God. Like, what if I go into the first screening and I come out going, that actually wasn't very good. And I got 2 other screenings I got to go to. But yeah.
Maybe we'll get better if that happens. Maybe on the second or third time.
Yes. Maybe second time it'll get better.
Yeah. I am surprised they didn't do an Endgame style marketing Disney with the reactors for the trailers for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like a montage. Like
yeah, because that worked very well for them before. But all right, what's next?
All right. Dragon says the first X-Men movie came out in 2000, not 1999, as John sometimes states.
Oh, it was filmed in 99, though.
All right. Nitpicking. Also, according to Lion King co-animator Tom Cito, the letters that are spelled out when Simba lies down spell SFX, not SEX.
Yeah. No, there are insiders in Disney who have affirmed that before. Yeah. That, like, off the record, have affirmed that before. So it is what it is. All right, what's next?
Luke, thank you for the $20.
Thank you,
love
Luke.
that.
That's very generous, man.
He says, just graduated college with 2 degrees in film scoring and music composition. Congrats. Nice. Needless to say, I'll be listening to the score for D&W and would love to hear a nod to the 90s X-Men theme at some point. You guys are great. Been watching since AMC.
Oh, cool.
Oh, listen, considering... there's 0 chance there's not going to be some of that original X-Men score in there. I mean, hell, even in Ms. Marvel, when they first mention a mutation, they played the animated, right? I 100% believe we are going to get a little bit, and good on you, man, for that. I hope everything goes really well for you, and that's a great field to get into. It's an exciting field. All right, what's next?
All right. Optimus Prime Rib says, it irks me so much whenever a critic gives a negative review to a much hyped movie that is getting praise and seeing people comment, finally, a brave and honest review. Because, of course, all the rest are just pretending to like it to avoid backlash.
No, it drives me crazy when I see somebody, if you're a YouTuber, you're pathetic if you have to put in honest review of something. Like, shut up. That's such a pompous piece of shit thing to say. And it's such an ignorant thing to say, like when somebody reads a negative review going, finally an honest review.
You mean a review?
No, the other people who actually probably, it's very possible somebody's saying they don't like it just to stand out. Remember Armand White? Remember that dude?
Oh, yeah.
Like, sometimes there are people who will just say negative things so they can stand out. There's a lot of people on YouTube who just say negative shit just so they can get attention.
Yeah.
So, positive or negative, it's always honest, right? Like, I came walking out of I was at the world premiere with Bob Iger standing no more than 20 feet from me when I had to pull out my phone at the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker premiere. I just walked out of the premiere and I'm walking across, getting ready to go into the after party. And I had to pull out my phone and say, this isn't it. This isn't it. I don't understand why some people are so fucking idiotic and stupid and mentally weak that I didn't like something and they said they did like it. Well, they're not honest. You weak-minded, fragile little piece of shit. Go crawl back into your mama's arms and suckle on her tight that makes you feel all warm and secure because you obviously can't handle the real world. Listen,
where does this stuff come from, John?
When people like something, they like it. When they don't, they don't. They're not being like just honest when they're saying they're not. Honestly, a lot of times when people say a lot of negative shit, that raises my suspicion a little bit more that they're just trying to get the hate crowd. But no, listen, people just come out of things to give their honest opinion. It's not only honest if it lines up with your weak-minded little feeble.
And you're insinuating everyone else is lying.
Yeah, it's such a pathetic, weak-minded little.
Only I can give you the truth.
All right, what's next?
Raymond Verada says, I read on CNN about sharks off Brazil were tested for cocaine. If Elizabeth Banks needs another cocaine bear to direct, this could be it. Good for Shark Week 2. Why do we like movies with sharks and dinosaurs or animals that go after and eat humans?
Because it's a primal fear.
On cocaine.
It's a primal fear. I think probably what you meant instead of tested for cocaine, they were probably tested with cocaine.
Yeah.
Probably what you mean. But those things, because those are primal fears of ours, right? Like, by the way, did you see that video going around? And I've been waiting for this to happen. You know how like whales will come and breach the water, jump like right by boats? I'm like, whales don't go after people, but like, what happens if the whale miscalculates a little bit? There's a video going viral right now yesterday of a boat where people were watching whales, and this whale came out, but when it came down, it caught the edge of the boat and completely flipped the boat and capsized the boat.
And it probably hurt the whale too.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't have felt good.
Yeah.
Couldn't have felt good, but it's like, holy, that scares. Like, I grew up on the water, right? I grew up in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in a fishing community and stuff like that. I love being on the water, but even I was like, damn, that. And I've gone whale watching, and I've gone like but I'm like, that's scary as hell.
Did you see the video where the guy was on a kayak and a humpback whale is coming up to eat krill, and the kayak is right in the mouth, so he goes in the humpback whale's mouth on the kayak?
No.
Yeah.
No.
He didn't swallow him. He got it. He had to struggle.
And if the
to get out
krill
of the
are all
mouth.
there, the whale probably didn't even see the guy at all.
And he wasn't being aggressive. The whale wasn't being aggressive. He was trying to eat. And then the guy actually finally got out, but it was like, you're in the whale's mouth.
I remember once I was out we were in Nova Scotia, and we were out on my great uncle's Surrey's fishing boat, and he was going squid fishing.
I have done that. It's terrifying.
Pull up these big things. The squids were like this big. Right?
I've been around giant squid.
The worst things about them was the black ink that they would spray. That was disgusting. I hated that. But because we're catching all these squid, it attracted sharks. And like, I'm like, is this something we should be worried about? No. I'm like, all right. But that was weird. All right, what's next?
All right, enough squid talk. Here we go.
Tyler Fletcher says, hi, John. Has everyone forgotten the possibility for Hulk is very high? Mark and Sean and Ryan were all on the Adam Project. Plus, what's a better way to give Hulk a comeback than to put him in an R-rated film fighting two people who can't die?
I don't think Mark Ruffalo being in the Adam Project has any bearing whatsoever of Hulk maybe being in it. Listen, everybody's fair game. Everybody's fair game in this Deadpool movie.
I think Kevin Bacon's in this playing Kevin Bacon.
Well, I mean, he's Kevin Bacon.
That's the thing.
As Kevin Bacon is already in the MCU, right? Thanks to the guard. By the way, still my all-time favorite Christmas special. The Guardian. Have you seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special?
No.
It is my favorite Christmas special of all time. It's on Disney Plus. I was very apprehensive about watching it, and I thought it's just going to be a cheap little thing they do for Disney Plus, and it is now my all-time favorite Christmas special. And Kevin Bacon plays himself, Kevin Bacon in it. So yes, but yeah, sure, Hulk could pop up. I'm just saying that Mark Ruffalo being in Adam Project, I don't think increases or decreases the chances of that. All right, what's next?
Tyler Fletcher says it would be cool if X-23 is the new Wolverine, and they would try to compare her to Wolverine. And the world tries to compare her to Wolverine, kind of like Sam to Steve Rogers, etc. To then have X-23 be her own hero.
Except in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, they don't have a Wolverine.
Yeah.
They've never had a Wolverine to compare her to, right? Look, somebody brought up the other day that maybe X-23 becomes the new Wolverine. The problem with that is the MCU has never had the original Wolverine. They've never had Logan. And as much as everybody likes to whine and cry, it was like, why does everything have to be about Wolverine? Okay, I get that. But here's the reality. This is a fact. There is no X-Men character even remotely as popular as Wolverine. As Deadpool says in the trailer, you are an X-Man. Fuck that. You are the X-Man. And that's true. Wolverine is the X-Man. I mean, he is the most popular character globally for the X-Men franchise. So that's why I don't think that you come out with X-23. I mean, you can build up to that 6 or 7 or 8 years down the line if you want, but I think they're going to have their own version of Logan. All right, what's next?
Chuck's Cantina says, as a podcaster myself, thank you, John and crew, for the wonderful work you've all done. You've inspired me to keep doing my podcast the last 3 years and just want to give y'all your roses.
Oh, that's nice.
Sidebar, need a reaction of John getting his popcorn bucket.
If he gets one.
Yeah.
But,
You know what? We are literally going to be at the first screening.
Yeah.
We're going to be at the first screening, so I fully anticipate we're going to be able to go in. Here's the thing. I've already seen them. I've now seen them. So my reaction, I'm really not going to have much of a reaction. I'm not really a reactor. That's why I don't do trailer reactions. Because I'll just be cool, sort of thing. So it's not going to be a big deal. But listen, I still believe, I've said this for many years. I've made videos about this. I believe every film fan, every hardcore film fan should actually have their own blog, podcast, or YouTube channel. It doesn't matter if you have 5 readers or listeners or 500 readers or listeners. It just gets you more engaged with the object of your fandom, and it gives you the opportunity to actually contribute back to the fan community. So I'm glad that you do that, man. That's great. All right, what's next?
Yeah, you just need a camera mic and an opinion.
Not even a camera. You just
That's
need a
true.
blog.
A mic
All you
and
need
an
is
opinion.
WordPress and type it on up.
Tyler Fletcher says, hi, can someone please explain X-23's line in the trailer? You were always the wrong guy until you weren't. It's been a few days and I still don't understand it. Maybe when I watch the movie.
I mean, again, as somebody who's not watched the movie, all you got to do is watch Logan. Because she didn't like Logan very much at the beginning of that movie, right? He's always the wrong guy. He was trying to pawn her, hand her off, didn't want to. And then he always comes around.
He was the reluctant hero.
Yeah. And he had his own hero's journey in that movie. So that's, I listen, as I'm saying this as somebody who hasn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet, okay? So my assumption is that's what she's referring to when she says, you were always the wrong guy until you weren't. And I cried. I cried when I saw that trailer for the first time. So good. All right, what's next?
Anonymous says, hey, John and crew. Random, but I was wondering if everyone in the room could just quickly shout out a random movie off the top of your head, any movie at all, good or bad, and I will try to watch them all and report back, even if I've seen it before. Just any movie.
LA Confidential.
Ooh.
That straight went with a real
That's
one.
a good one. I'm going to say King's Speech.
Nice.
That was my favorite Oscar-winning film of the past bunch of years.
The first movie.
I'm going to say Titanic. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
James Cameron, Titanic,
Yeah.
Ray?
King's Speech,
Oh,
LA
man.
Confidential. One of your favorite movies. I
Any
already know what
random
you're
movie.
thinking.
Terminal.
Oh,
All right, you know what? The
gosh.
Terminal, because I thought you'd say The Martian, but The Terminal.
Okay.
I'm
All
actually
right.
curious about The Terminal, so go ahead.
What's next?
Andrew?
This is a two-parter. Andrew Alpha says, hi, John. Okay, I'm taking the bait. You've been saying all week that Logan is on your list of the top 3 comic book movies of all time. I'm guessing The Dark Knight is one of the other 2. The third one better be Richard Donner's original Superman.
No, Joss Whedon's original Avengers. I still believe. There's still
two-parter,
part
yep.
2. Okay, go ahead.
Richard Donner's original Superman, the movie, the superhero movie that started it all and made me believe a man can fly. Or I just might boycott the show. Just kidding. Love the show and the whole crew and all you guys do.
Boy, if you were kidding, you might not be kidding after I say this.
Oh, God.
I actually don't think the original Superman movie holds up all that well. I still love the second one. Still love the second one. But anyway, no. I still believe the greatest comic book movie ever made is that first Joss Whedon Avengers film. And I'll tell you why. Because what they accomplished in that movie is now kind of common, but he really did the impossible. Like, it was one thing to make a good comic book movie about this character and a good comic book movie about that character, but they had never really cracked the code of taking a bunch of big comic book characters and make a coherent, fluid, engaging, exciting, and entertaining film. And a lot of us, including me, going into that first Avengers movie is like, there's going to be a bunch of these characters that don't get equal screen time, or it's just going to be one character over another, and blah, blah, blah. And yet they found a way to have a completely balanced... You think about this. They had Thor and Iron Man and Captain America and Hulk and Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. And they had other supporting characters, Nick Fury and Coulson and Loki. And somehow, some way, that movie created the alpha template for how you do a comic book movie in today's age. And that's why, to me, because you got the first two right that are for me. For me, the top three, and each one for a very different reason, the top three greatest comic book movies of all time, to me, are, in no particular order, Logan, The Dark Knight, and that first Avengers movie. And for each one of them for very, very different, unique reasons. But that's why, to me, those are the three gold standard comic book movies to me. And a lot of other fabulous ones, but those are the top three for me. All right, what's next?
Full Boyle says, do you think that Barbara, the only Vought scientist whom Homelander didn't kill in season 4, episode 4, will return in season 5 if she managed to escape? With her understanding of psychology and maybe biology, maybe she can be vital to help stop him.
Yes, whenever somebody is left alive, I believe that was for a purpose. So yes, I am completely, because I had that exact same thought when I was watching that episode, that if she managed to get out of there, because I think the implied message there that he was leaving her there to die, but she was alive, and I do think that she'll get back into the game. I think we're going to see her again in season 5. All right, what's next?
Christopher Rosado says, I have a prediction for when they will use the Greatest Showman song in Deadpool and Wolverine. It'll be when he is shown the MCU or when he enters it. One of the lyrics is, this is where you want to be. Deadpool could see MCU as the greatest show.
I could be down with that. Mm-hmm. This is where you want to be. Okay. Guys, watch The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
It's so great.
And then watch it again.
Watch it again and again and again. It's just fabulous. But I like that idea. I like that prediction. Let's see if that's where they do it. All right, what's next?
Beeper Yell says, so what are your top 5 favorite lists? Just kidding. I know you don't like top 5 lists, but I believe they provoke thought and introduces people to new ideas and encourages discourse, especially when reasons are provided. Love your show.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I have no problem with top 5 lists or top 10 lists. What I don't do is I don't do answering live questions about top 5, top 10s,
right
top 3s. Because no, these are things that you should actually sit down, think about. Yeah. Orchestrate your list, put it into the right order, not just, I don't know, off the top of my head, because here's this is what always happens. I'll say something off the top of my head, and then I'll think, well, that's not really my list. And then go, well, John, you said that this was the number 2 greatest thing. And I'm like, no. Yeah. So that's why in answering live questions, I just go, guys, I don't do top 10 lists. I don't do top 5 lists. But when I'm doing editorials, and I have actually time to prep something, like that's why every once in a while you'll see on the John Campea Show, I will do a top 5 or a top 10. And then I inevitably go, John, you said you never do those. No. I never do those when I'm in live Q&A situations. But otherwise, yes, top 10s and top 5s are great, not because they set out definitive set in stones hierarchy of qualities, but rather they are there to elicit discussion. And that's why I like them, but just not live. All right, what's next?
This is not a spoiler. I reviewed it.
Okay. Azaz says, hey, John and crew, I have seen Deadpool and Wolverine. I had an absolute blast. Was everything I was hoping and more. Top tier comedy, amazing action, and cheer-worthy cameos, and of course, heart. Can't wait to hear your thoughts when you watch it.
I cannot wait. Yeah. This is how committed I am to doing my out-of-theater reaction. Because I've only got about 20 minutes after my first screening before I got to go into my second screening. This is seriously what I am doing. Okay, I'm not kidding. I have over here a solar battery that I keep, a secondary solar battery, because we power the whole studio using solar with my solar battery. But I have a secondary one that's portable. I also have a Starlink. For those of you who don't know what Starlink is, it's this dish that literally points at the sky and gets you high-speed internet via satellite.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to bring my laptop, my one secondary solar battery, and my Starlink and router in the car to the parking lot. So I can come out of my first Deadpool screening, film my reaction, film my out of theater quick review, go right to my car, load up the laptop, open up DaVinci, edit it really quick, and then use my Starlinks out with the dish sitting on top of the car to upload my out of theater reaction to Deadpool, and then run right back in and go to the theater. That's how committed I am to doing my out of theater reaction tomorrow. So looking forward to it. All right, what's next?
Filthy Film Fanatic says, I love your show and wish you and 3C Films had a larger following for the magic you bring. Have you experienced any Mandela effects? Examples: Luke, I Am Your Father, Star Wars, the non-existent Shazam with Sinbad, or the Berenstein spelling?
The closest thing I would say was kind of a Mandela effect is something that we've had recently. And this kind of came up during Furiosa, when Furiosa really underperformed at the box office. The Mandela effect that I kind of recognized was that everybody seems to think Mad Max Fury Road was a big hit.
I thought it was. Was it not?
No, it wasn't.
A lot of people liked it.
Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, but just the common understanding amongst film fans was that, like, that Fury Road was some big, massive blockbuster hit. It was not. And that's kind of why I was saying, like, when Furiosa was like, you know what, we shouldn't be surprised that not a ton of people saw Furiosa, because it's a sequel. It's a long overdue sequel without the stars of that last film. And that last film wasn't very big in itself. So yeah, that's the closest thing to a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
It seemed to be commonly understood amongst film fans that Mad Max Fury Road was a big, big hit. And it wasn't. All right, what's next?
Filthy Film Fanatic says, hi John, if you could create a crossover movie combining two completely unrelated franchises, what would you choose? Imagine a wild mashup like Star Wars meets The Office, or Harry Potter and Mad Max. I'm just having fun and giving support.
Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica. That out on their deep space quest, the remnants of humanity in their little ragtag fleet led by the lone surviving Battlestar, the Galactica, come across, the New Republic. Should they really make that movie? No, but I would be there because those are two of my favorite things. All right, what's next?
Galarung?
Yeah, Galarung the Gold Worm says, hi John, it's game day here in Greece. I saw D&W first show at the first day. By the time you read this, I'll be halfway in my second viewing.
Wow.
With tickets for 3 more shows throughout
5.
the week with friends and family. If you're not ready for this, your brain will explode.
I'm ready.
Bro's doing 5.
Wow.
I am so ready for this. By the way, it's looking like my box office range opening weekend is going to come true. They're saying now between 170 and 200.
Okay.
Which is right where I thought it would be. It's going to be, which will make it will officially break the all-time box office opening weekend record for an R-rated film.
Yeah, it's a flop. It wasn't 260 or above. It's a flop.
I'm there. Don't laugh.
It was going to be
don't laugh.
between 2 and 250.
Why Deadpool and Wolverine flopped?
Deadpool and Wolverine is going to set the all-time box office record for an R-rated film. And there are going to be people out there. They're already doing it. You got these hate mongers out there and everything that are already prepping their headlines of Deadpool and Wolverine massively underperforms. It's like nobody who knew anything, but who knows? Maybe it does hit 250.
Honest box office report.
Honest box office report. All right, what's next?
James UK says, hi John and crew, hope you're okay. It's one day until Deadpool and Wolverine, and I cannot wait. My question is, if you all had to guess, how many cameos do you think are in the film, and which character would you love to see in the film?
69, dudes!
I mean, listen, all I kept hearing from everybody is the sheer number of surprises and cameos are insane. And when a lot of people are saying that this movie is a true love letter to the old Fox universe, I'm going to guess like 20 or 30.
Oh, okay. I was way under.
Like, I seriously think it could be like, and again, these are all going to be small, but the best thing I heard about all the cameos is that all of them have a purpose. And that's the thing. I just don't like cameos when they're just like, hi, everybody, remember me? Bye. But they're there and they serve a purpose to help further the story. And apparently that's what they do. So I'm going to guess around 20 to 30. All right. What's next?
This is a great follow-up to that comment then.
Cat Lego says, hi all, just saw D&W here in South Africa. I enjoyed it. The cameos are not just there for nostalgia purposes. They have a purpose that has an impact. It's not a perfect movie. Second time.
Well, there is no perfect movie.
It's not a perfect movie, but the heartfelt performances keep you glued to the screen. Just wonder what that means. Like, what is a perfect movie?
Yeah,
that's in their opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, what could ever achieve that?
I mean, truly, no movie is perfect. I mean, because even if a movie does everything right, something you do right, you could have done better, even if it's already done right. Anyway, that being said, even in the midst of all my hype, I have maintained all year that all I need is Deadpool and Wolverine to be good. That's all I need. I don't need it to be a top 5 comic book movie of all time. Mm-hmm. I don't need it to be better than Deadpool 1, although a bunch of people are saying it is, but I don't need it to be better than Deadpool 1. I just want it to be good. I want to go into Deadpool and Wolverine and come out with a smile on my face and having enjoyed myself. It doesn't have to be the new Godfather. It doesn't have to be the new Empire Strikes Back. It doesn't have to be the new whatever. It just be a good movie. Because I am hyped for this to be a good movie. And if it goes beyond that, awesome. But all I need it to be is good. And from a lot of people that I'm hearing from, it's a good movie. Some people are saying it's ridiculously good, and that's great. But all I need for it is to be good. All right, what's next?
All right, this is a two-parter. Edvis says, been rewatching the X-Men movies to get ready for Deadpool and Wolverine. A lot of them still hold up. X1, X2, First Class, Days. But some of the others, X3, Origins, and the Dark Phoenix Wolf, one that was better than I remember, The Wolverine, by the way. If you're looking for an order to watch them that almost makes sense, this works so far for me. First Class, Origins, X1, X2, X3, The Wolverine, Days, Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, because Days rebooted the timeline, Deadpool 1 and 2, Logan.
I'd say you can even, by the way, The Wolverine, which is the one that was directed by James Mangold, I thought the first 2 acts were fantastic. I thought it started to fall apart a little bit in the 3rd act, but The Wolverine is definitely better than X-Men Origins Wolverine, like by miles. You don't even have to watch it, though. You don't have to watch X-Men Origins Wolverine. You don't have to watch The Wolverine. You don't have to watch X-Men 3. You certainly don't have to watch Dark Phoenix. But the remaining X-Men films are fantastic. X-Men 1 created the golden age of comic book movies that we are in now. X-Men 2, until X-Men Days of Future Past, I thought it was the greatest X-Men movie ever. I still love X-Men 2. It's so good, where Brian Cox got introduced. It's incredible. I love it. Then, of course, you got First Class, which is really good. But X-Men Days of Future Past, chef's kiss. That movie, I just rewatched it again a few months ago. That is an absolute top 10 best comic book movie ever. Might be in my top 6. Ooh. Like, that's how good I think that movie is. That movie is phenomenal. And then Logan. Then Logan, which is a top 3. So just watch those ones and I think you'll be good. All right, what's next?
Jacob Waldrop says, I was wondering what constitutes someone being a public figure that anyone can make a movie about. For example, I know you can make a movie about a president without their permission, like the W movie, but not Michael Jackson or your teacher at school. Depends.
If you make a movie about things that are public knowledge, you can make a movie about things that are public knowledge. Mm-hmm. Anything that's on the public record, right? Like, you may not have the right to certain things about them, but like, for instance, like Michael, there are a lot of things about Michael Jackson there's public news and footage and stuff like that. That's just common knowledge. Other than that, though, you have to get permission from family. If you're a president, forget it. And like you're fair game. Anybody can do anything like that with a political figure like that. Other than that, it'd be good to get Brooke on here again sometimes. Brooke, who's now working in entertainment law. You guys remember Brooke? She was on the show all the way back in the AMC days and was back just recently too. Talk about the ins and outs of that, because I'm sure it's very precarious legally.
Yeah.
All right,
you have to get what's called life rights often, and that's where they sign away the permission.
Depending.
Yeah.
Like there's some circumstances, like sometimes if somebody wrote a book, I may not have to go and get the family's permission to do something. I just may have to go to the author of the book and get their rights to make a movie based on their book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a convoluted thing. I even in my days working in law, I never worked in entertainment law. So that's a lot of stuff.
That's why copyright lawyers and all that stuff, they make a pretty penny.
All right, what's next?
Cam says, "Hey John, what were your overall thoughts on the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser? Did the price seem outrageous or reasonable? And did you ever think about going before it closed down?"
No, I was never going to go on that thing when I saw the price of it. I mean, for that price, there need to have been a Twi'lek chambermaid doing unspeakable things. There's no way. I was never going to do that. And that little special that, why am I freezing on her name?
Oh, man, I can't remember her name.
You might be able to find one of those.
Why am I freezing on her name?
Somewhere.
Ray, look it up.
Huh?
The girl who did the Jen? Is it Jenny?
Jen something.
It's Jenny, right? Yeah, so.
What?
Jenny Nicholson.
Jenny Nicholson.
There you go.
Who was on our Star Wars panel that we did at Star Wars Celebration. Anyway, she's great. She's a delight. I love Jenny. I think she's an absolute delight. Her little 4-hour editorial on YouTube on that whole thing is, if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I mean, it's a slog to get through, but I mean, it's really well done. And I think got like, I don't know, 5 million views on or something like that. But I was never, ever, unless Mark Hamill himself was going to be holding my towels for me in the bathroom. There's no effing way I was ever going to go to that. No chance.
Yeah,
not
the idea of going into a building, it's just a hotel room. They lock you in, and then there's no windows. There's just video screens everywhere.
It was like $4,000 or $5,000 for 2
And you
nights.
have to pretend you're not in a building in Orlando.
And it was 2,000, you said?
4,000 or 5,000.
4,000 or 5,000.
And if it was like $400 a night, I would have done it.
4,000 or
But
5,000.
it was just no chance. No chance.
It was in space, John. Come on.
It was in space. It's expensive to get to space, damn it.
They should put it in Vegas. Maybe it would have done better in Vegas.
And not
Would have done
charge
much better in
$5,000.
Vegas. All right, what's next?
Sith Lord Kyler says, "Hi, John and crew. Just got around to watching Twisters in 4DX, and it was an absolute blast. If I'm not mistaken, I think Regal Cinemas is the only chain that offers this premium format.
I think so.
Do you think AMC will offer something close to that in the future?"
No, I don't think so. Look, again, I just had my very first experience in 4DX, and I had a great time. But I do worry that there are precious few movies that 4DX is the right movie to watch it in. Like, I would never go to watch Deadpool in 4DX. I will never go watch a comedy in 4DX. I will never go watch a big drama in 4DX. Top Gun sounds like it's good for 4DX. And Twisters, which has them driving their trucks over all the terrain, 4DX was perfect for it, and I had a great time. But I think AMC would probably look at it and go,
yeah, there's not enough.
nah, we don't need to do that.
There's not enough offerings, like true offerings for a good 4DX experience, other than the ones we get every now and then. The next one on my list is Top Gun 3, which is miles, years away.
Wow.
So, it's the amount of money in the theater probably is not worth it to a lot of
Because that
chains.
could not be cheap to make that theater.
Probably not, but it does give them that special
It gives them something very unique. But again, there's going to be a very fine line between a movie like Top Gun and Twisters, which that experience helped immerse you in the movie. I think for 90% of movies, it would distract you from the movie. So I don't think AMC will look at doing it, but you never know. All right, what's next?
Lamont Tyson Life Gains says, "Oh, thank you so much, Lamont.
Sent in like $50.
Big spender."
Thank you, Lamont.
If you feel it.
Chase it.
I'm going to say that all day. I have no
If
idea.
you feel it, chase it.
He says,
Can I interject something? Every time Ray says that, though, I almost say the wrong thing. Because there's
Don't
two...
ruin me.
No, I don't mean to
ruin my
but there are
thing.
two things in the trailer. In the trailer, you have Glen Powell going, if you feel it, chase it. But also in the trailer is you don't confront your fears.
You ride them.
You ride them. So whenever Ray says, if you can feel it,
Ride
my
it.
first thing-
That's
it's like,
what she
that's
said.
totally different
Oh,
meaning.
but that means something completely.
Feel it or ride it. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the questions. What's next?
Oh, wow. Okay, so Lamont Tyson Life Gain says, I'm in the film industry and I have 2 films planned to show at Holly Shorts.
I've heard of Holly Shorts.
I'm in LA August 8th to the 12th and would love to take you and Ann out to lunch on Sunday the 11th, if that fits your schedule. I started a channel of my own due to you, John.
Well, I'm first of all, that is awesome that you're into Holly Shorts. I've produced a couple of films that have played at Holly Shorts. I believe I was a judge at Holly Shorts one year.
I was a member of Holly Shorts at one point.
And that's awesome that you're doing that. And I appreciate the offer, but much, so there's nothing on you, but much like the fact that we don't accept physical gifts being sent in. I hope you understand, being a minor D- public figure that I am, we don't just go out, especially with my wife, don't go out and just meet people that I've never met before. So, but thank you for the offer. Very generous of you, and best of luck at Holly Shorts. All right, what's next?
A tiger's claw
They just
says,
laugh.
No, I just because Haunted Autumn said send your scripts. Scripts are always welcome.
That's a Rob.
Right, by the way, we do not accept scripts.
No.
Ray is joking.
Yeah.
We do not accept
Robert
scripts.
does though.
A tiger's claw says, I love the Olympic Games. Do any of you have any films you like that is about the Olympics? If you do like the Olympics, of all the years watching it, what is your most memorable host / country? What event are you most looking forward to watching?
Well, Miracle is a fabulous Olympics movie.
Was Eddie the Eagle Olympics?
I was about to say Eddie the Eagle. That was the next one. That
Was
took
Cool
place.
Runnings in the Olympics?
Yes, it is.
That's
Winter
definitely
Olympics.
a fave. That's
Cool Runnings.
Blaze of Glory? Was that Olympics? Or
Well,
was that
not
just a
Well,
regular
that was
it's
a-
not
Yeah.
based on, that's a make-believe thing though. It's totally fictional. But like Eddie the Eagle, by the way, I believe that was the Calgary Olympics. I believe that was in Canada, the Calgary Olympics. Eddie the Eagle, speaking of Hugh Jackman, that's a wonderful little movie. I really enjoyed Eddie the Eagle with Taron Egerton and Hugh Jackman. It's really quite good. You should check that out. The sports, I'm really stereotypical Canadian. I'm really more into the Winter Olympics than I am into the Summer Olympics. But for the Summer Olympics, I love gymnastics. Even though I don't think judged sports should be in the Olympics, my favorite is a judged sport. It's the gymnastics. So go Simone Biles.
I can't wait to see this opening ceremony. We're getting ads where Spielberg is promoting it, saying that we haven't seen anything like what we're gonna get this Friday. So I can't wait to see what they have in store.
LeBron James is going to be carrying the American flag.
I know, but I think it's like a lot of the video stuff that they're going to be doing.
Oh, they're going to make a huge deal out of it.
I
Huge
think
thing.
my favorite Olympics moment, I can still remember it. I don't remember the runner or whatever, but he was a favorite to win. And as he's going down the track, he tore a hamstring or something.
Oh my gosh!
And he like, okay, no way he's even coming close to winning this now. They've all finished a race.
Yeah.
He's limping along to still do it.
And the other guy.
No,
Oh,
his
Dad.
father comes
Oh, that's
out.
right. His father's the one
I
that
think
came
he was
out.
also
Yeah.
his coach too. His dad, right?
Yeah, and slings his arm over the shoulder.
Yeah.
And
Then
goes
he
over
like
the finish
cries
line.
through it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
And of course, Sidney Crosby and Team Canada beating USA in the gold medal.
You know what the
That was
biggest
great.
fail of the Olympics was? Dan and Dave. Do you remember that marketing campaign?
Dave.
It was a long time ago. It was Dan versus Dave. It was Reebok. It was 2 guys that were supposed to make it to the Olympics, and one didn't even make it. They had this whole marketing campaign. You don't remember?
When
I
was
never
that?
saw it.
Man, come on, please tell
How
me
long
something.
ago was that,
Yeah.
though, Ray?
That had to be like in the 88.
Well, I was in Canada. We didn't watch him. We didn't give a shit about American Olympics and their thing, so that's why I never.
Oh,
heard of it.
Americans. We feel like it's
Oh,
everyone
you
pays attention to
Americans.
us.
Oh, that actually, Sir Malcolm just mentioned. Of course, a great thing about the Chariots of Fire.
Mhm.
Oh, that's an all-time classic. Anyway, all right, what's next?
Mike Halsey says, And thank you, Mike, for the $20.
Oh, thank you, Mike,
for
supporting us on that level.
I live in the middle of, never can say this,
Rural.
I can never pronounce it, France, and my local independent cinema gets movies about a month or so after release. I usually manage to avoid spoilers, but with a movie as big as this, how hard do you think it'll be to avoid spoilers this time?
I wouldn't even bother trying.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're completely going to stay off forget even social media, all media. I mean, there's just going to be some movies for your circumstances that sucks, that you're just going to have to accept. But again, to me, I knew the Titanic sunk and I still was able to go in and love the movie. It's not what's in it, it's how is it executed. So take solace in that, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky, man. Maybe you'll get lucky. By the way, I have had a couple of my friends, including Soul. Soul is off in France right now. Soul goes every year, or every 4 years, he'll go to the Olympics. And so I think him and Jenny both went. So I would love to visit France someday.
They have a great train system. My advice to you is hop on a train, get to some nearest metropolitan area, watch it, and go back home.
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's next?
Matan Valensky says, do you think that Pixar will ever use again their virtual IMAX camera, or even let Walt Disney Animation Studios to use it or license it to other studios, or that the camera is dead because of Lightyear, as Pixar made R&D part of the film budget?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing about it. I don't even know what camera. The whole movie is created in a computer, so I'm really not sure what that is. So I can't address it because I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. All right, what's next?
Mike Halsey. Oh, no, another one.
Yeah, Mike Halsey, that's right. Oh, wait. No, they repeated. It came through twice. There you go.
Okay. So, Mr. I.
Send in another $20.
Yeah,
thank you, Mr. I.
Thank you.
That's very generous, man.
Says, with all the Deadpool and Wolverine talk and how it's most likely going to be the biggest movie year, biggest movie year, let's get to the brass tacks of it all and ask, Paris, have you heard of and or tried John's favorite snack combo, mozzarella sticks and sour cream?
You know what, Mr. I? Screw you.
Well, first of all, that is not my favorite snack.
Wait,
Second
what
of
is
all,
happening?
I do love it though. So here's the thing. Traditionally, when you go into a restaurant and you get like mozzarella sticks, they will serve it with marinara. But the vast majority of our viewers who have written in and said they have tried this,
just the ones that have written,
have agreed that when you order them, say, but instead of marinara, please serve it with a side of sour cream. It is phenomenal.
Oh my God.
It's all right.
Kind of grossing me out.
I know the sound of it. I understand the sound of it, but all of our viewers who have tried it and written is like, John, you have opened our world. It is delicious. Go try it.
Clogged our arteries.
Clogged our arteries.
Dude, you're already eating a stick of cheese. You're literally eating a stick of cheese.
And then fried too.
I wouldn't worry about a little bit of sour cream accenting the
what
flavor.
I like to add to my cereal and milk? Some heavy whipping cream.
Are you serious?
No, that's the same idea.
All right,
like,
what's
you
next?
guys. All right.
We only got like 10 minutes left.
Yeah,
so
we
let's
have
keep going
a few left here.
All right. Perfect Image says, with Deadpool, my theory is a paradox situation because of the man that's called Paradox from TVA. What you think of that theory?
Since you don't really tell me what your theory is, I can't really say. So I don't know. We will see. We'll see. All right, what's next?
Wilma says, game day. Hopefully we can all get our popcorn bucket.
Hopefully.
Yeah, listen, I've never really cared about the movie collectible popcorn buckets. I mean, obviously the Dune one made us all laugh. I mean, the fucking thing's a fleshlight. But this Deadpool one, I want this one. I really do want this one. I trust I'm going to be able to get it, but who knows? Hopefully me and Ray will both be able to get one, and we'll have it on the show on Thursday or on Friday. All right, what's next?
Todd F says, just saw Deadpool and Wolverine in Australia. Never loved a movie more since No Way Home. Looking forward to our out of theater thoughts. Can't believe what I saw.
Oh man, that's so good to hear. That's just pure exciting to me when I'm hearing from our viewers who've seen the movie now, because probably living in a different country. and saying that they loved it. It's just getting me more and more excited. By the way, I just said that we'll probably do whatever on the show on Friday. I don't think we're going to be having a show this Friday. Just so you guys know.
You got CinemaCon, right? I mean, CinemaCon. Why did I say that?
Well, there's Comic-Con going on. But anyway, we'll talk about it later.
We got Saturday.
All right, what's next?
David says, "Hey, John and crew, do any of you have any MCU hot takes? Mine is that Kenneth Branagh's Thor is a top 10 MCU movie."
I'll stop you right there. I think Kenneth Branagh's Thor is a top 10 comic book movie, period. Anyway, so please continue.
Dang.
All right. I'm biased because that's the first MCU film I saw in theaters, and it introduced me to the franchise, but I genuinely think it's a great movie.
No, it's beyond great. The first Thor movie is spectacular. Ann and I saw it in theaters 7 times in the first week that it came out.
Thor.
Yeah. I loved it that much. I just thought what Kenneth Branagh brought to that movie had so much. It was a beautiful adaptation of the classic Thor. It was just wonderfully done in the hands of a fabulous director. I think Ragnarok is also spectacular, but that first Thor movie, I'm sorry, there's not many moments in any comic book movie that made me laugh as hard as this drink. I like it. Another like that just that movie's so good. And it's at the heart of it. It's a movie about a father and his sons. And it's just such a relatable movie for a movie about a lightning space god. It's just incredible. I love that movie.
Oh, man,
absolutely.
And the ending score is so triumphant. It's just such a triumphant build up to the,
But I mean, as far as a Marvel hot take goes, I've always said I think Endgame is overrated. But people misunderstand that because overrated does not mean bad. I think Endgame is exceedingly good. I think it's a very, very good movie. But I think it's really overhyped. I don't think it's as good as some people make it out to be. Like, I think Infinity War is by far better.
I think Infinity War is better too.
But I mean, like, everybody just thinks of Endgame and they think about portals. Yeah. And yeah, the portal scene is one of the most epic scenes ever in comic book movies, period. But that's only 10% of the movie. Overall, I think Endgame's a little overrated. I'll be honest with you. All right, what's next? That's my hot take on it.
Yep, that was it.
And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show podcast. Thank you so much for being here, making this little show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the questions. Number 1, because you gave us fun things to talk about. But number 2, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Tomorrow is indeed game day, my friends. Woo! So excited for it. We'll look forward to seeing you then. I want to thank the people in the room with me, Ray Ora.
Chase it.
Ride it.
Oh, gosh.
Ride it.
And Paris Rose.
Stop it.
My name is John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.